Good afternoon, everybody. I was going to show you question period, but it's kind of just the same old stuff. The Conservatives are asking questions that anybody thinking and watching this whole scandal would be asking. And the Liberals are doing everything in their power to not answer those questions and to tap dance around the answers and to distract or say these answers have been answered and put to bed, no problems. And they give a statement that somebody else said as if that was evidence of no wrongdoing. Like, oh, they said that everything's fine, so everything's fine. So, strange. So, I didn't want to really rehash it. We've watched that before, so link is in the description if you would like to watch it. This, however, this is a tweet from Andrew Scheer, and he says, quote, "Incredible. Justin Trudeau's Liberals are going to great lengths to cover up his interference in a criminal prosecution. Yesterday, they even shut down the Finance Committee when questions about the scandal came up. These aren't the actions of an innocent man." And this is 2 minutes and 45 seconds. I hope the volume is okay. I'm going to put the link in the description so you can rewatch if it's not. This is incredible. This is the chair of the committee, and him and Mr. Polyev get into it, and it's incredible. Mr. Polyev is not allowed to ask about SNC Lavalin, and, well, we'll watch. Here we go. We're going to watch all of it.
Polyev, 7 minutes.
Yes, according to public records, the Minister of Finance met with SNC Lavalin representatives after the... Actually, Mr. Chair, we are. I'm afraid, sorry to disappoint you, but we are getting into it. And I know you want to cover it up, but you're not going to cover it up.
Do you want to...
Actually, I have a button here, and you're not going to silence me. My job is to defend the accountability of Parliament. I am not going to be silenced by you or anyone else. You might have silenced Jody Wilson-Raybould, but you're not going to silence me.
Mr. Polyev,
Mr. Liberal Chair, I do have the chair, Mr. Liberal Chair. Mr. Liberal Chair, I do have the floor, and I invite the parliamentary secretary to
get a technician in here to pull that mic. Point of order, and then Mr. Massey, point of order.
Ironic, isn't it, that Mr. Sorbera only wants to talk about the tax treaty now? Because a moment ago he talked about numerous subjects that aren't in the treaty. He talked about unrelated tax policies. He talked about infrastructure projects. He talked about child benefits. He talked about a tax credit for workers. He talked about the small business tax rate. None of those things are in the treaty. And yet, Mr. Chair, you allowed them to be discussed without interruption. So it is very interesting that all of a sudden, now that the subject has become unfavorable to your party, you have slammed your gavel and behaved in a way that helps protect the Prime Minister's office.
What's your point of order?
My point is, if they can talk about things not in the treaty, I can talk about things not in the treaty.
The floor is yours, and if we can stick to that, it'll be great.
Well, the government and the committee are of the view that deferred prosecution agreements are a matter for this committee. That's why they put them in the budget, and that's why this committee was responsible for approving it. So we are on topic. The question I have here is, what was the purpose of the minister meeting with SNC Lavalin when he did so? Actually, it's in order because it's my time, and I will ask the questions I choose to ask. I will ask the questions that I choose to ask. Actually, sorry, I have point of order.
No, he has a point.
I'm afraid, Mr. Chair, you're mistaken. I have the floor.
No,
I have a point of order, and my point of order. I have the floor.
Can you cut his mic?
The point of my intervention is this:
talks about
the government has said that this is a finance. That's why they put it in the budget, and therefore it is the job of the Finance Committee to ask questions of the Finance Minister in relation to his interventions on the matter.
Meeting suspended.
I am asking.
I suspend the meeting. There you go. We're not going to have...
And I'll finish it there. He goes off mic and you can't hear him for the last 5 seconds, whatever, the last bit. But that's incredible. Like, really, these are the people who are using these committees to connect and write the laws, and the whole government has to agree on the laws. That's why we have it made up the way we have it, and the majority gets to decide, but the whole government gets a say. Yes, the majority gets the deciding vote, but man, when the majority is behaving like this, especially after all we've seen, imagine what we haven't seen. Imagine what has been tucked away. Imagine if they're claiming they've gone from nothing to see here with Jody Wilson-Raybould to the pressure applied was totally proper and nothing to see here, carry on. And that's just one scandal. I'm going to show you another scandal. But they're behaving this way during Finance Committee, period. And the Finance Committee is what they use to change the laws to allow SNC-Lavalin to access not a prosecution for their crimes. They did this in 2018. SNC-Lavalin was charged, well, they were raided 7 years ago and charged in 2014 or something like that, 5 years ago. What kind of insane quote-unquote rule of law country sham do they think we're going to accept? I mean, apparently a whole lot of people really don't care. It's really incredible. So here's the other scandal that's engulfing the Trudeau Liberals. Mark Norman, Vice Admiral Mark Norman, CBC reports, Mark Norman's defense team hits Trudeau butts with subpoena. That's a pretty funny title, actually. With subpoenas. And here we are. Subpoenas have been issued to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his former and current top officials, including ex-Principal Secretary Gerald Butts, for any notes, emails, or texts they may have related to the criminal case against Vice Admiral Mark Norman. The notes are being sought by the legal team defending the former Vice Chief of the Defense Staff against a single charge of breach of trust. Norman is accused of leaking cabinet secrets in relation to a shipbuilding deal. The subpoenas were issued earlier this month as Toronto lawyer Marie Heinen was preparing a motion to dismiss a case on the basis of alleged political interference. Sorry if I mispronounced your name, madam. The court order for notes include the Prime Minister and Butts, but also Trudeau's Chief of Staff, Katie Telford, clerk of the Privy Council, Michael Wernick. Remember crazy Michael Wernick? Oh, hold on, I've got a picture of Michael Wernick. There we go. There he is. Michael Wernick wearing his tinfoil hat. He is very concerned about assassins lurking all over Canada. Or something. I'm not sure. Crazy. And Zita Astravas, Chief of Staff to Defense Minister Harjit Sajjan. At a pretrial hearing on Friday, the Department of Justice indicated officials are still in the process of collecting the notes and could not say when they would be provided. Heinen asked the court last October to force the government to deliver up communications between the Prime Minister's office and the Privy Council, which supports and advises Trudeau. The demand for documents was narrowed on February 1st after Astravas testified at the pretrial hearing last month that she could not recall the substance of any conversations within the PMO about the Norman case while she was a senior official there. The former commander of the Navy is accused of leaking cabinet secrets related to $668 million shipbuilding deal in 2015. He is one of two people charged in the case. Federal procurement official Matthew Machette also faces a single count of breach of trust. And there's a whole lot more to the Mark Norman story. I did a 2-part video on it, and link is probably not in the description, but you can check it out in your search bar, I'm sure. It's Mark Norman case. What? And so, pretty interesting allegations, the fact that a subpoena has been served. I think Gerald Butts thought once he stepped down, he couldn't be subpoenaed anymore. He was trying to Scott Bryson it, right? I'm out, so nothing to see here, guys. Carry on. No, doesn't work that way, Mr. Butts. Sorry. Twitter machine is not going to save you this time. Here is Breakfast Television in Burnaby South doing a candidates debate, but only 3 candidates were invited. 3 candidates only were invited. And 338 is showing that the PPC is a strong 4th place showing. So anything could happen on election day, right? Maybe the right splits their vote, or the left splits their vote. I don't know. But it's interesting to watch the PPC go from 2% to 11%. And, we're a few days from the vote. The vote is on the 25th, I believe, February 25th. So we'll see the result very shortly. I'm interested to see what happens. But garbage like this, Maxime Bernier got in on this, and I reported about that a few days ago, so I won't rehash it here. But not inviting all of the major candidates. And if there wants to be 6, or if there's 6 major candidates, sure. You have two separate debate stages or whatever you want, 2 call-in shows, 2 days. That is a lot more show for the same content, really, and people are happy to be on there. But deplatforming somebody by not inviting them under any guise, that's not democratic, right? I want a democracy where everybody gets a fair shot at sharing their ideas, not just who Breakfast Television chooses, right? And Breakfast Television is the one with the audience. I mean, a shrinking audience because it's cable news, but still an audience, and it's a big one, and it's going to have an impact on the outcome. We saw that in Toronto. We saw that for Faith Goldie during the municipal election, where she was banned by John Tory and the Rogers Control Trust from pretty much buying any media or ads or anything like that. And yeah, John Tory is a very high power person. Very powerful media conglomerate. He owns Rogers, one of the top guys. It's incredible. So anyway, lots of stuff happening in Canadian politics. Stuff still going on. Miss Wilson-Raybould, I'm sure once she gets to speak her truth, whatever that is, well, that's going to be even more interesting. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a wonderful day.